You guys seemed to really love our players you meet in Rainbow Six Siege video, but as many of you mentioned, we didn't quite cover every kind of player you meet in Siege. We hear you, fam. Clearly we can't cover all the players who fill our community, but we can at least try with a second video. I'm your host, Alpha Lance with the Leaderboard, and yeah, we know it's the elephant skin. Number 1, the Team Killer. The one you all called for the most. Unfortunately, folks, friendly fire isn't, well, friendly. You can only imagine what kind of game Rainbow Six Siege would become if your allies were immune to your bullets. Imagine a rook charging at the enemy team covered in C4. Luckily for us, and that player in particular, we live in a world where bullets are equally dangerous to everyone. The Team Killer is a high-stakes player. How annoying can they be without getting removed from the match? How much damage can they do before getting reported?
Really? Are you kidding me right now?
Honestly, sometimes the team kill is actually just a misclick or a byproduct of walking right into the line of fire, but sometimes it was planned all along. Number 2, the Troll. All team killers are trolls, but not all trolls are team killers. The troll is the player that does everything just short of team killing. The troll doesn't kill you in spawn, that would be too easy, and could get them in trouble. The troll lets the Twitch throw out their second drone only to pop it before it reaches the door. The troll throws an impact grenade at the wall you are making a kill hole in. The troll destroys the thermite brimstone charge right before the hole opens up. You see where I'm going with this. The troll helps the enemy team even if they get nothing for losing, aside from a good laugh at your expense. If you spot a troll in the enemy team, you might start laughing and praising your good fortune, but be careful because you aren't immune to the troll's wrath. They may still come for you after they're done messing with their teammates' heads. Number 3, the early exit. This is the player that leaves right after they die in the first 5 seconds of the match. We've all seen this player. Maybe they left us with a final remark, but more often than not, they went with an Irish goodbye and left without a sound. These players are impatient and often prone to saltiness. Simply ditching the map isn't the only thing that makes a player an early exiter though. These players can even be in a match with you right now. Well, probably not right now, but even if they did stay in the match, they're still probably clocked out. You might spot this friendly defender simply sitting on a security camera, not moving, not scanning, and not cycling through the feeds. They're not quite AFK, but if they don't have a gun in their hands, they could care less about what's going on in the game. Number 4, the backseat gamer. Next up is the player that typically died early in the round, but still feels like they have the authority to tell you how you should play the game.
Your left. Not that one, to the left. There you go. Far left. As far left as you can go on that wall.
And most of the time that means they think that you're doing it wrong. One of the best things in Siege is that even when you're down, you don't have to be out. Rainbow Six Siege's camera system is a unique, tactical waiting room that allows for team coordination and contribution. It also gives folks who are clearly better than you the extra opportunity to watch your every move from multiple angles. Giving advice isn't bad necessarily. Calling out enemy positions isn't bad. It's when it gets personal that it gets bad. Don't be rude, but if you're gonna talk about your teammates' playstyle, try to be more like our next player. Number 5, the teacher. We've talked a lot about toxic players, and there are a lot of bad apples in the community, unfortunately. But we also only remember them because it's hard to forget the person who slammed the door in your face. But now it's time to give some love to the players that actually held the door for us. The teacher is a diamond, even if they aren't diamond rank. They are patient with new players, knowledgeable about maps, operators, and common strategies, and charismatic enough to try to explain it to y'all.
Shoot it twice, just shoot it twice. Perfect. Alright, shoot them one more time. One more time. Yeah, okay, cool. Because if they destroy it, then that'll make them win, or make them lose.
Personally, it's thanks to a few of these players that I got hooked on Rainbow Six Siege in the first place. So hey, thanks. The teacher may die early, but when they come on comms, they make helpful suggestions, give clear callouts, and most importantly, deliver words of encouragement. We could all learn a lesson in humility from them, but it's even more important that we learn from our mistakes, something our next player is not likely to do. Number 6, the boy who cried hacker. The defining feature of this player is that nothing is ever their fault. They can't even admit that their death may have been at the hands of someone incredibly lucky. Not even skilled, just lucky.
Oh wow! I think you are hacking
The boy who cried hacker may not actually believe that the enemy player's hacking, and they hopefully know that nobody believes them. Fellow criers have already destroyed all hope of believability after all. But maybe, just maybe, the crier will be able to plant some seeds of doubt in the minds of their teammates. Maybe over time, other team members will start to see a few too many wallbangs or some way too fast reaction times from other players. The crier doesn't care that if this is casual or not. They know that someone somewhere is using hacks and therefore could be in their match. The worst part is that when a player truly does see a hacker and starts relentlessly calling for their head, no one will believe them. Also, you know that at this point they're in a blind fury, and come next round they won't be in a proper mindset. Maybe the enemy is lucky, maybe they're facing the SMURF. Maybe they didn't realize there's a black eye camera behind them. The craziest thing though is that every once in a while the crier will actually be right. Too bad nobody's gonna believe him anyways. Number 7, the hacker. Incredibly rare, or so we all hope, this player is a whale that made a very bad choice. The hacker is someone who loves Siege enough to spend their disposable income to play the game an entirely different way. I guess bowler hats on Frost just wasn't enough for them. In many ways, these players are easy to spot. They have ridiculous aim, they can turn around and lock onto your head so fast you swear they're gonna get whiplash. Or, of course, you might spot their name on the top right of the screen, followed by has been removed from the match by Battle Eye. There are many nasty hacks out there, so watch yourself. Unfortunately, due to the nature of these beasts, there isn't a whole lot you can do to deal with them. Hackers can have literally any advantage in the world at their disposal. The best bet is to report them and hope Battle Eye catches them soon. I don't know about all of you, but I even feel gross when one of my teammates turns out to be a hacker, even if they did help us win. Number 8, the player who swears they're a SMURF. Yo man, if I was on my plat account, I'd totally kick your ass. The player doesn't so much blame others for their lack of skill, but rather uses the excuse that this is just them being laid back, not caring, or generally not taking this match seriously. Typically low level or low rank, this player always tries to act better than they actually are. Maybe they're drunk, maybe it's Maybelline. Whatever their excuse, they're not doing well this round. This game, this session, at all. Just hope they aren't on your team. And if they are, pray they hop onto their other accounts and regain their legendary skills. Number 9, the kid. Our next player may in fact make your eyes roll. The kid comes in many forms, but is almost always defined by age. We're not talking about childish players, but in fact literal children.
Bro, can you please stop fighting your gun? You're scaring me.
There are a few different kinds of kid players you'll meet. There's the classic loadout that'll tell you all about how their uncle works at Ubisoft. They might say this to impress you or just to troll you. They might tell you all about the next hero that's coming up, or even threaten you with some kind of permaban if you don't let them use their favorite operator. This nephew subclass can be quite obnoxious, but deep down just wants to be cool, accepted, and heard. There are also kids who fully know they are uncool outcasts, and there's a chance you're going to see them too. There are the loners who escape from life to play video games. They might tell you about how kids at school pick on them, or how other players have kicked them just for talking. By the way, if you hurt these precious angels, I personally swear I'm gonna call on that other kid's uncle who works at Ubisoft and get you permabanned, you monsters! But seriously, I'd rather you talk to them, or at the very least mute them if they get too annoying. Let them play, let them learn. We're all nerds in this together. Some of us may have just been in this longer than others, like our next player. Number 10, the veteran. Not determined by knowledge, skill, or financial investment, the veteran player is defined by the time they've put into the Rainbow Six Siege series and the Siege communities. Maybe they've been inactive like the time capsule in our previous video, or maybe they've been active enough to be a Diamond Pro. But unlike the time capsule, the veteran has kept up to date on the going-ons of Siege. Aware of patches long past, these players remember the golden age of Twitch and their drones' 30 shots. They remember back when Capcan's traps were insta-death. Still, they aren't stuck in the old meta. Instead, they know exactly what the kids are playing these days. You'll be able to spot them talking to other players about the good old days of the game. For veterans, the meta is either better or worse than it used to be, depending on whether or not their strategies are typically working. Since these players are valuable to have on your team, they may even carry you to victory, which is exactly what our last player is hoping for. Number 11, the backpack. Simply put, the backpack is the player that gets carried through the entire match but will later have the gall to write easy in the chat. Whether friends with an actual good player or simply a troll, these players are easy to spot because they'll be the ones at the bottom of the scoreboard. Some would argue it's better to be the worst player on the winning team than the best player on the losing team. The backpack player is one of those people. However, for the team's sake, a backpack will have the smarts to at least play a hero like Rook that can quickly cash in his ability. Some days you just feel off, you can't aim, you're making dumb mistakes, teammates keep messing you up, and you end up at the bottom of the scoreboard. That's fine. Just know that if your team wins, you won't have much to brag about. Remember the golden rule of the internet: don't be a dick. Some days you may be one player type, while other days you'll find yourself playing like someone else entirely. That's alright, we're always changing and it's impossible to have an A+ game every time. So did we miss out on A players this time around? Have you found yourself acting like any of these players before? Who and how so? Tell us more in the comments below. Once again, I'm your host Alpha Lance with the Leaderboard, reminding you to hit the bell icon to become part of the notification squad if you haven't already, because we've got so much Rainbow Six Siege content coming your way. And of course, please be sure to subscribe to the Leaderboard, your home for video game facts.